Mike here in Acts 16. I'll go split it in three, 1 to 16, 1 to 15. He came to Derbe, Paul, and then to Lystra, where a disciple, a learner named Timothy lived. That's Timothy that Paul wrote to, whose mother was a Jewess and a believer, but whose father was a Greek. The brothers at Lystra and Iconium spoke well of him. Paul wanted to take him along on the journey, so he circumcised him because of the Jews who lived in that area, for they all knew that his father was a Greek. Now, I must say here, that's against what Apostle Paul said, and Apostle Paul's right. He's the smartest. You don't need the circumcision of the heart, but like James in the last, I said, they wrote the letter to appease the Jews, to keep some of the Old Testament, like the sacrificial, made sacrifice to idols, which Apostle Paul also said it's in his right is meaningless, right? We have nothing to do with what they sacrifice. We just eat the meat. Anyhow, same thing here. Why did Paul go against and circumcise them of the flesh, just to appease the Jews, what he ought not to have? But sometimes I guess they broke and just did it. But either way, you don't have to circumcision of the heart, not of the flesh. The New Testament, Apostle Paul, read all his letters. But here he did. Anyways, I need to go on here. As they traveled to town to deliver the decisions reached by the apostles and the elders in Jerusalem. Right? And I was, right? What I just went through. So that the churches were strengthened in the faith and grew. Paul and his companions traveled throughout the region for Galatia. I'm skimming here. And having been kept by the Holy Spirit stopped them from going to Asia. It says here, they tried to enter Berthia, but the Spirit of Jesus, as Jesus lived in you through the Holy Spirit, would not let them go, so they wasn't ready. God didn't want to go there at that time. So they went to Mysia and went down to Troas. During the night, Paul had a vision of a man from Macedonia begging him to come to Macedonia. That was God through the vision. After Paul had seen the vision, when we got up, that's because Luke is writing to leave. It's taken Acts here for Macedonia, concluding that God had called us to preach there, the gospel. From Troas, we went, checking time, out to the sea and sailed straight to Samothrace, and next day to Neapolis. From there, we traveled to Philippi, a Roman colony, and the leading city, which district of Macedonia, and we stayed there for several days. On the Sabbath, we went outside the city gate and the river where we expected to find a place of prayer. We sat down and began to speak to a woman who gathered there. To women who gathered there. Well, one of those listening was a woman named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth from the city of Thyatira, who worshiped God. The Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message, and she had a place. She was baptized in that, and she let Paul stay there for a while. Okay, bye.